A very good morning to one and all. Myself, Dr. G.V. Korpe, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, Shri Shivaji College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Akola. First, I would like to congratulate the Principal and the Organizing Committee of Shri RLT College of Science, Akola for organizing the short-term course on research methodology in association with PhD Cell, Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati, Amravati Chemistry Teachers Association and Microbiology Society of India for organizing such a beautiful short-term course on research methodology. The topic for today's discussion is the process of admission and award of PhD degree as per the guidelines of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University, Amravati. Now, it seems to be a very basic topic for discussion, that is the process of admission and award of PhD degree. But I think it is more important for the new students who are planning to join the research for their PhD, and it will be helpful for them to understand the process for admission and award and understand the guidelines that are explained by Amravati University through its ordinance. So the various steps involved in the completion of PhD degree from admission to award are explained by the university uh, by its ordinance number 1, that is of 2016, and the regulation of 2016 clearly explains the various steps, the various processes involved right from the beginning, that is from the admission of, to the research center till the award of PhD degree. And as per the regulations, there are different steps that the research student has to follow. The first step is the admission to research center, then coursework is there, then after completion of the coursework there is a part, registration part, submission of the thesis, evaluation of thesis, and finally the award of PhD degree. So there are, uh, briefly you can say, there are 5 steps for right from the admission to the uh, evaluation and award of the PhD degree. So the first part, like for any course, is the admission, and here the research student or the candidate has to apply. The first step is to apply to the research center. Now, how to choose a research center, where to apply? So that announcement of predetermined seats by research center, so that is done by the university on its website on or before 31st May every year. The university will display the list of vacant seats as per the research center, as per the subjects in its in the university affiliated college and in the departments. Next is the eligibility for admission of the PhD program. So for the to get admitted for the PhD program, you should be PhD entrance test qualified, that is the PET, which is conducted by the university. Uh, those who are UGC CSIR net or JRF, or who have qualified SET or even qualified MPhil degree, they are exempted, along with the teacher, those with a teacher fellowship, they are exempted from the PET examination, uh, PhD entrance examination of the university. They can directly uh, move to the registration process or the pre-PhD course. They can directly get admitted um, if they have UGC CSIR net or they are MPhil qualified or having a fellowship. So there is no need for them to clear the entrance, PhD entrance test. Next is the application to the research center. Like for every course, uh, you have to apply for that course. Here the application will be by the eligible candidate. He has to apply to the research center of his interest, of the research area uh, in which he has to pursue his PhD degree. He will apply to that research center on or before 1st December of every year. That is the date fixed by university. So you have to apply the for the research center on or before 1st December every year. Next is the after the application, your application will be scrutinized. It will reach to a research advisory committee of the subject of that research center, and for the affiliated college, the principal is the chairperson, HOD of the concerned subject is the member, and subject expert recognized supervisor nominated by the principal is the member, and there is one more member, that is a member secretary. He is the research supervisor in the concerned subject. So the research advisory committee has in total 4 members who will guide you, who will monitor your research throughout the period of PhD. So the RAC has an important role in monitoring of the process of the PhD. So after you have applied for the PhD course to a research center, the next step is the allocation of the supervisor. Now, once the uh, applications are received by RAC to the research center, the RAC will display the list of the eligible candidate along with the schedule of interview. The schedule of interview will be notified 15 days in advance. Interview of the candidate will be there before the research advisory committee, and the research advisory committee will discuss with the students about their interest of research, and also the area in which they are interested to pursue their doctoral degree. The next step after the discussion with RAC, the allocation of supervisor for the selected research scholar. This will be decided by the concerned RAC depending upon the number of scholars per research supervisor. The research supervisor will be allotted to you. Now, if your topic of interest is interdisciplinary, then the RAC may allot or may allow you uh, a co-supervisor in that interdisciplinary area. So you will having one supervisor and one co-supervisor from the interdisciplinary area in which you are interested to work. The next part, after the display of the list of the candidate and allotted supervisor, uh, the candidate will be confirming his admission to the research center on or before 31st December by paying the fees that is prescribed by the university. So the chart is here, that is the fees prescribed for the PhD program, and as per the subject area, the faculty wise, the annual fees is given, which you have to the student has to pay to the research center, and the amount that is payable to the university. So this is the chart available on the university website. Next important part is the coursework. The coursework has become the very important part of the PhD program. Unless and until you clear this uh, pre-PhD course, you cannot move further for the registration process. So after having admitted to the research center, the scholar have to complete a coursework of 1 semester, and that is of 16 weeks. This is a very important step that every research student has to complete before directly getting involved into his research area, into his research activities. he has to first complete the 16 weeks course at the research center. But if you are interested in completing the course in some other research center, then the university will permit you if you have no objection certificate from both the research centers. That is one where you are admitted and one where you are thinking to complete the pre-PhD course. So you can choose the research center to complete your pre-PhD course, uh, as per your choice. So that has been allowed by the university. The next is the who are exempted from the pre-PhD coursework. The scholars or the students who have already completed MPhil in a regular mode, they are exempted from appearing to the pre-PhD course. Now, what is the syllabus of the coursework? Now, the coursework has the 5 modules. First is the research methodology, another is the ICT skills, recent trending subject, review of literature, and seminars. So these are the 5 modules that has to be completed in the 16 weeks, that is the 1 semester duration. Next is the scheme of teaching and examination. So the there are 5 modules: research methodology, ICT skill, recent trends in subject, review of literature, and seminar. So the first module, that is the research methodology, there is a theory and there will be a written examination for the first module, and the theory paper will be of 80 marks and you will have an internal assessment of 20. That means the total marks is 100 and passing is 60. For all other modules, there is a term work, and the marks allotted are 50 for every from module 2 to module 5. There are 50 marks, maximum marks, and the passing is 30. So the total is 300 and you have to score, or the eligibility is the minimum passing marks are 180 um, for all the 5 modules. That means 60 marks for research methodology, passing marks, 30 for ICT skills, that is the term work, ICT and recent trends in the subject. So this is about the scheme of teaching and examination. So now if we see in detail the research methodology, that is the module 1. Now here uh, there are theory sessions about for 45 hours, sorry, for 45 hours covering 5 units. Now the theory classes will be held at the research center. The theory question paper for module 1 shall be set by the university in the unit pattern. There shall be 5 questions of 16 mark each with internal choice. The theory examination of module 1 shall be conducted um, by Santa Gadge Baba Amravati University, and the internal assessment for the module 1 shall be conducted by the research center with 20 internal marks. Now, what are the objectives of this research methodology? That is to understand the role of research methodology, formulation of research problem, data collection and instrumentation, uh, to learn the statistical tools for data analysis, technical writing and communication skill, intellectual property rights and patent filing. These are the basic objectives of the research methodology course that would be covered under module 1. Now next, module 2 is the information and communication technology skills. So this part, module 2, is common for all subjects: science, technology, commerce, management, humanities, and other interdisciplinary. The ICT skills, the module 2, the syllabus is the same, and there will be a practical session and the internal evaluation. The grades or marks will be allotted to the students. So the syllabus included introduction to ICT, then introduction to operating system and uh, uh, word processing softwares, uh, introduction to spreadsheets softwares, introduction to presentation softwares, and introduction to the internet. These are the areas that are covered under the module 2 syllabus. Now what are the objectives of the course? That is to learn and acquire skills using ICT tools that are which are useful in the research, basic of the information technology skill, word processing skill, spreadsheet processing skills, and internet searching using ICT tools. These are the objectives for ICT skill, that is the module 2. Now the module 3 is the recent trend in subject. The scholar shall carry out the literature review under this module based on the recent trends in the subject and the topic his interest. The recent trends in subject, it includes literature review on historical development in the subject research area, growth and development in the subject, then contribution in subject by various contributors, then institutions involved in the subject and research area. So this is the part which will be covered in the literature review under research recent trends in the subject, that is the module 3. So also the researcher uh, has to understand or he will be getting knowledge about the scope and objectives, then assumptions and prepositions in the subject and research areas. So this is about module 3, that is the recent trend in subject. The fourth one is the review of literature, and that is module 4. The scholar shall carry out literature survey, a detailed literature survey based on the review of the work done on the proposed subject area or on the relevant topic which is suggested by the supervisor. Now, what are the expectations from this module or after completion of this module? The researcher should be able to classify and formulate his her research area, decide the place, region where the research to be performed and process, which process to imply, diagnose the research problem, uh, historical background of the research topic, and survey has to be carried out in existing research report on selected topics, and also future scope of selected research topic and research design and planning uh, will be covered under the once he completes the module number 4, that is review of literature. The fifth module is the seminar. So this is a one credit course, is meant to give scholars a practice of speaking in front of an audience and to explore the topic of his of the chosen field in detail. So there are the scholar has to deliver a seminar on the topic he has selected in the area in which he is doing his PhD work. Um, so scholar will do the research on relevant topic and organize the presentation for faculty and other scholars. The topic may be any aspect of related to the domain and must be approved by the supervisor in advance. The scholar has to deliver seminar along with submission of the seminar report. The submission of seminar report is very important part. He just doesn't has to deliver the seminar, but also he has to submit the seminar report for further evaluation. Uh, the seminar will be based on the literature review, survey of the work done on the proposed subject of the research. The research student not only he will deliver the seminar, but he has to also attend the seminars of all research scholars enrolled in the area. So it is expected that the scholar will actively participate in the seminar activity, and that's how the uh, final grade in the module 5, that is the seminar, will be determined. Next is the gradation. At the end of the coursework, the performance of the scholar shall be indicated by the course. The grade shall be based on his or her performance in theory, practical examination in every course registered by him or her. The internal marks of module as well as the mark of module 2, 3, 4 shall be forwarded to the university by the research center, and the statement of the mark along with the certificate of completion of PhD coursework shall be issued by the university, and there will be a gradation, 10-point gradation by the university depending upon the performance of the research scholar. um, um, Excellent, very good, good. And you will be the university will be issuing a certificate of completion of the PhD coursework, and then the research student can move further for his PhD registration. So after the successful completion of the coursework, the head of the research center will forward the application of the PhD scholar in a prescribed format to the university for registration on or before 31st August of every year, along with the required document. Now, what are the requirement documents? That is the synopsis recommended by the RAC in 7 copies along with the soft copy. All eligible scholars shall be called for the presentation uh, of research topic before the RRC of the university. The concerned RC research committee, the supervisor and the scholar will be informed about the decision of the RRC by 31st October of the year, and the date of registration will be the 1st September of that year. So now you are registered, you will receive the registration letter by 1st September. Your date of registration is 1st September. So what is the duration for the PhD program? So the duration of the PhD program is 3 years minimum, and maximum it is 6 years. There is extension for another 1 year if recommended by RRC of the uh, university. So there is a relaxation for the lady scholars, may be allowed relaxation for maternity leave, child care leave. It will be allowed once during the whole PhD tenure. Then the person with a disability will have the relaxation of 2 years. So he may submit, or he is allowed to submit the PhD thesis. He may take extra 2 years, or he is given a relax. So now the submission of the thesis, that is the important part of the PhD program or the PhD duration. The submission of the thesis has to be done in the two parts. First, there is a submission of the draft thesis, and then you have to submit a final thesis. So submission of the draft thesis and pre-defense is a one part where you submit a draft thesis to the your RC research center after the completion of 2 years from the date of the registration. So likewise, in before it was you could be you could directly submit your thesis to the university, but now as per the new guidelines, first you have to submit the this draft thesis to the RC or the research activity committee of the research center, and then after it is cleared by RC or RAC, then you will submit the thesis to university. So for that, the submission should accompany the reprints of the published paper or the accepted papers in the peer-reviewed journals. For the draft thesis to be submitted, the scholar have to publish at least one research paper in the referred journal and shall have to present at least two papers in national and international conferences or seminars. The scholar shall get a draft thesis checked and certified for any kind of plagiarism from the university library. So you have to get the certificate of plagiarism from the university library, and then you will submit the draft thesis to RAC. The scholar is allowed to submit the final thesis for evaluation to the university after the successful pre-defense at RAC. Now the chairperson of RAC shall notify the schedule and detail of the pre-defense by wide publicity, and the same to be communicated to the scholar at least 10 days before the date of presentation. So then the scholar has to give presentation before RAC, faculty members and research scholars in the concerned area from the department. In case the the presentation is found unsatisfactory, or the scholar fails to present the research topic before the RAC on the scheduled date, the scholar shall be given an opportunity for presentation within 3 months. So the scholar shall accommodate the changes in the thesis as suggested by the RAC and in final copy of the thesis. RAC will issue the certificate in the prescribed format that he has completed the pre-defense, and now the thesis will be okay for submission to the university. So now the final step, or the pre-final step we may say, that is the submission of the final thesis for evaluation. Now the PhD scholar here will submit his final thesis in the form of the 4 copies or hard bonded thesis to along with a soft copy in both MS Word and PDF format to the university, along with the summary of the thesis in 3000 words, same in the form of the hard and the soft copy along with the hard bonded thesis. Next and the last part is the evaluation of the thesis. So on the receipt of the 4 bonded copies of the thesis, or on receipt of the thesis, the RRC of the university will recommend the panel, which will include the referees within Maharashtra and other than Maharashtra, that may be outside the state or outside the India. So there will be 2 referees for the evaluation of the thesis. Now once the university receives the reports of the evaluators, there will be an open defense of the thesis. The date and the time and place of the open defense shall be decided and notified by the university within 15 days, preferably 15 days in advance. The open defense shall be arranged at a respective research center in presence of all faculty members, research scholars and invitees. So the committee for the open defense shall be the head of the department or the research center. He will be the chairman for the open defense viva, member of RAC, referees of the thesis, then supervisor, if there, he will be the member, and supervisor of the candidate. So this will be the committee for the open defense, and after the successful completion of the viva was, the research center shall submit the referee report to the university, and after the satisfactory viva was, the student shall become eligible for the award of PhD degree. So here the process is the same as it was earlier. And now once the satisfactory viva was report is submitted to the university, university will there will be the declaration for award of PhD degree to the candidate. Now here your journey, it seems that it will end, but actually from here the research career or the research journey starts, and now sky is the limit for your research journey. You can do many things in the field of research. So with this brief introduction to the process of research and award of PhD degree, I wish all the best to all the students and teachers. All the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.